Morning Bromwich School. What are we going to do today? Learn, enjoy, succeed. Today is Tuesday the 7th of July and it's time for another fable. Today's fable is going to think more about the theme of friendship. So who are your best friends and what do you look for in a friend? What qualities do you look for in a friend? Let's think about that story when I'm reading you Town Mouse and Country Mouse. The Country Mouse lay in the cornfield, staring up at the summer sky. He could see the swifts and swallows high above him, soaring over the treetops. He knew when summer ended they would fly far, far away to countries he'd never heard or dreamed of. But that's not for me, he said to himself, pattering back to his little cottage in the hedge. He thought fondly of his smooth, earthy walls, his fireplace, his soft, grassy floor. He reached his hedge and there, arms open wide, was his friend Town Mouse. "Surprise!" he cried. "I thought I'd come and see you. It's been so long." The Country Mouse beamed from ear to ear. Come in, he said, pushing open his small wooden door. Town Mouse sat on a log-piled chair, while Country Mouse bustled about, looking for food for his friend to eat. "I've not got much," he said, "just a few ears of corn and some husks of barley." "Is that all?" said Town Mouse, looking disappointed. "Well, next month I'll have nuts and blackberries," said Country Mouse. Town Mouse shook his head. "You live like an ant, my friend," he said. "Come home with me, we'll eat like kings." They set off together, scurrying through the hedgerows, along riverbanks, into the hustle and bustle of the town. "This way," said Town Mouse, beckoning Country Mouse into his house. They scampered straight to the kitchen, and there, in the cupboard, "You've got beans and cheese and honey and fruit," said Country Mouse, skipping from one to the other, tasting, feasting, nibbling and gnawing. "I'll never go home again," he sighed. Just then, the door began to open. A large hand reached into the cupboard, and Country Mouse screamed. "Run!" cried Town Mouse. "Quick, into the hole!" Country Mouse followed, whiskers quivering. "We were nearly caught." "Oh, nonsense," said Town Mouse. "Now come with me to the dining room. Just wait till you see the food there." A feast met Country Mouse's eyes, and he soon forgot his fears. He lapped up the cream, trailed his paw in the chocolate sauce, and sank his teeth into the cookies. He shut his eyes in blissful contentment when, creak, 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 the door swung open and the maid came in. "Mice! Mice!" she screamed. "Swat, swat!" went her mop. Town Mouse grabbed his friend by the ear and pulled him to safety beneath the chair. "We must run from here to the hole in the wall," he said. "Go as fast as you can, but watch out for the stomping feet." Country Mouse ran. He could feel his heart beating. He could hear his breath coming in heavy pants. He thought he would burst with fear. "You call this place home?" he cried when he reached the hole. "I know you have every luxury, but think of the dangers. I'd rather have the peace and quiet of the country any day." "You're going back," said Town Mouse, "to that hole in a hedge." The Country Mouse nodded his head. "Farewell, my friend. It's the simple life I want," he said. And the moral of that story, well, what do you think the moral of that story is? Town Mouse and Country Mouse had very different ideas about what they thought homes should be like, didn't they? And what their lives were like. Country Mouse was used to a much more simple life, living in his hedge with simple foods and waiting for what grew naturally in the land around him to eat. Whereas Town Mouse preferred luxuries and comfort and all sorts of different foods that were just there on tap. But that came with a bit of danger. Danger that the Country Mouse wasn't used to, was he? But, do you think that you and your friends need to have the same likes and interests and that you should be the same as each other? What do you think? Think about your bestest friend in the whole world, the person who you'd want to spend the most time with, who you tell all your secrets with, the person who knows you more than anyone else. Are you really similar? Are you the same? I'm certainly not the same as my best friend, I know that. We're very different, but that's what makes us work as best friends. All the things that my best friend has and is really good at are things that maybe I'm not very good at. And we work really well as a team together. What about you and your best friend? If you had the same interests and you were absolutely the same all of the time, would that make you interesting as friends? Well, Town Mouse and Country Mouse had lived very different lives, didn't they? But it didn't stop them still being friends. They could each like their own thing, and that was fine. Now, that also made me think about friendship during this time. So we're lucky that most of us have come back to school and we're able to see our friends, aren't we? But there might be friends that you've got either in a different class in school or outside in your family that you can't, or friends outside of school that you can't see at the moment because of lockdown, that you've not been able to see. But I hope that you're finding ways to keep in touch. Well, Willow class are going to sing to us One Call Away today, and that is a really good message that actually no matter where your friends are, no matter how often you see them, they're only one call away. They're just there. All you have to do is call them and they'll be there for you. Okay, I'm going to leave you with Willow class and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Only one call away, I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Call me baby if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Come on, come on, come on. Reaching out to you, so take a chance. No matter where you go, no, you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Come along with me and don't be scared.